First, I want to thank all of you for being here to help us celebrate 25 years of Challenge Air for Kids and Friends and flying over 36,000 special needs kids and their families. I love what we do. We have a wonderful board of trustees, we have an incredible executive director, and we have hundreds of the most wonderful volunteers that I couldn't describe in even the most superlative terms. We all love what we do, and we love what we accomplish. We have a lot of people to thank tonight, but especially our founder, Rick Amber. Rick attended Hillcrest High School in Dallas, Texas, and then on to the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. After Annapolis, he got his dream of flying F-8 Crusaders at twice the speed of sound off of aircraft carriers. He was loving life, just like the guys in the movie Top Gun. His call sign was Bear. And if you look at those guys, that was Rick. Coming back from his 109th mission, a lot of bad things went wrong. And his plane crashed into the back of the carrier, exploded. Rick ejected through the explosion, but broke his neck, broke his back just below the neck, leaving him paralyzed and in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. But Rick was still Rick, Navy fighter pilot. Same guy, just at 3 feet instead of 30,000 feet. Rick had that can-do, aggressively competitive nature that never changed. He was ranked number 2 in the world in wheelchair tennis. He played in the wheelchair Olympics. In 1992, Rick was teaching a group of kids in wheelchairs to play tennis, aptly named Winners on Wheels. Rick had gotten back into aviation and had achieved many pilot's licenses, his private, his commercial, his instrument, his certified flight instructor, as well as his air transport pilot's license. He asked the parents if he could take these kids up in an airplane, because pilots think everybody needs to be up in an airplane. Well, the parents trusted him, so they said yes. So he rented a Cessna, and he took these kids up, 2 in the back seat and 1 in the front seat with him. At altitude, he asked the little boy in the front seat, "Would you like to take the controls of the plane?" "Sure." So that's what happened. The kid flew the plane. Back on the ground, Rick noticed a slightly different kid. Kid had more self-confidence, more self-esteem, accomplishment, can do. Rick decided that this was a good thing, that we would use the airplane as a motivational tool. I got a phone call. Rick went home, called me and said, "Tomorrow, I need you to go with me to buy an airplane." I said, "God, Rick, I'd love to do that. However, I'm gonna leave my checkbook at home, just so you know." So that's what we did, and that was the beginning of what we have here today, Challenge Air for Kids and Friends. At the Oshkosh Air Venture in 1996, Rick was given Humanitarian of the Year award by General Chuck Yeager. Chuck was the first man to break the speed of sound. He is everybody in aviation's idol. Rick asked me to go with him, but you know, you got all this stuff going on, you got business, you got life, you got family. How was I to know that this was to be Rick's last year on Earth? I did get to talk to Chuck Yeager. After the award ceremony, Rick called me and he put Chuck on the phone, his buddy, Chuck. And I said, "No, I can't talk to General Yeager." And then I was talking to General Yeager. And he said, "So this is your friend?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "Not easy, is it?" I said, "Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't." He says, "Tell me, I can't even get a girl to talk to me in a bar when he's around." I said, "General Yeager, I'd like to be able to buy you a beer sometime." He says, "Oh, you can be sure you'll be buying the beer." Fighter pilots, they're all like that. Rick took the Cessna to Oregon from Oshkosh to fly 2 events, 2 fly days. The end of the second fly day, euphoric as always over the kids, he was talked into jumping tandem parachute. So the instructor is slightly above him and his legs are below the instructor's legs. There was a circle of people on the ground that were supposed to catch them, because if Rick hit with no musculature in his legs, he would surely break his leg. Well, the camera and the film, which I have, shows they made a perfect landing right in the middle of the circle. Rick goes back to his hotel, and of course he felt nothing below his injury, so he didn't know that he was injured. But he takes off his clothes, and sure enough, he's got a broken leg. Off to the hospital. Left the hospital that night with a huge leg cast. Gets back to his hotel and is thinking, how am I going to get home, and how am I going to get this Cessna home? Sonny gets another phone call. So next day I get on a plane, I go to Oregon, meet Rick at the airport. 2 days later, we're back in Dallas. We had 2 days of what we loved doing, flying that little plane. In September of 1996, they took the leg cast off, and they noted a blood clot in his leg. A sonogram found that Rick had a large growth in his bladder. It was cancer. The chemo did not work, and we lost Rick in April of 1997, but not before forming a plan and recruiting a board of trustees for the continuation of Challenge Air. So here we are tonight, 25 years later, over 36,000 special kids and their families. Thank you, Rick. We love you, and we love what you gave us.